Labour's wish to get closer to the European Union puts Britain at risk of becoming a rule-taker as Brussels pushes the UK into trading by its rules, an expert says. Labour's threat to Brexit has been exposed as Sir Keir Starmer's party looks poised to turn the UK into a rule-taker by seeking closer ties to the European Union. The party insisted ahead of the July 4 general election it would not seek to reverse Britain's exit from the bloc or to rejoin the customs union or single market. Sir Keir has said there is no case to rejoin and maintained the UK would not have rules dictated to it by Brussels, but he also said he doesn't want to diverge from the EU or lower green, labour or food standards. His assurances came before Prime Minister Rishi Sunak announced the date of the general election, but neither Brexit nor international trade policy appear to be high priorities in the two main parties' campaigns. This is despite the issue dominating the 2019 election when Boris Johnson secured an 80-seat majority on the back of his pledge to get Brexit done. Matthew Lesh, Director of Public Policy and Communications at the Institute for Economic Affairs, told Express that Labour's desire to bolster ties to the EU risks losing some of Britain's Brexit benefits. He said, Labour have indicated a preference to strengthen relations with the EU and reduce post-Brexit burdens on trade. But, as the EU have repeatedly signalled, the removal of barriers like customs checks will require closer alignment with EU rules. This could even mean so-called dynamic alignment, meaning UK laws are updated to follow EU changes. This would be the worst of both worlds, the UK required to follow EU rules without any formal say in their creation. It could even mean the loss of any potential regulatory benefits of Brexit, like wresting a more hospitable environment for innovative new technologies. The expert at the right-wing, free market think tank said that compared to Labour, the Conservatives are likely to keep close to the status quo in terms of UK-EU relations post-July 4. Stephen Hunsaker, trade and economics researcher at UK in a Changing Europe, told Express the status quo set by the Tories would not prevail if Labour was to form the next government. The think tank recently published a report which found Brexit was hitting UK trade, but that Britain's services trade with the bloc has proven to be more resilient than anticipated. Mr. Hunsaker said if Labour wins power the possibility of a dramatic change in the UK-EU trade relationship is unlikely. He added, they will likely tinker with the edges of the TCA, Trade and Cooperation Agreement, and look at more regulatory alignment with the EU to smooth trade flows, but it is extremely unlikely the UK will be able to make any changes that would have a similar effect to rejoining the single market and customs union. The TCA is a free trade deal between the EU, the European Atomic Energy Community, and the UK. It is due to be reviewed in 2026. UK in a Changing Europe's expert said the Tories focus on free trade agreements and exploiting opportunities to create divergence over regulations to differentiate Britain from the EU for countries outside the bloc will not prevail if Labour wins the election.